Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey. Hey, this is Alex. See, that's the big red letters there. It says Alex. Gotta be me. And this is the Ramble, and we go till midnight tonight on the East Coast of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, that face you see before you is Stephen Kravitz, and Stephen was asking me how many people watch this. And
yes, I was.
I told him I don't know really. It's a goodly amount. I have more people than most people get, but
right.
less people than the successful people get. So you know,
so you're in the middle.
Yeah, you know, I think maybe we probably an average show tops out at about 500 people. You know.
Really?
And I wish I had more, but, you know, I'm an old man doing a show, and the fact is that people who watch this, watch blogs and things like that and videos on YouTube are all kids.
No kidding.
So if I did makeup hints, maybe I might make more money. You know, I might get... Oh, there's a woman on here who gives makeup hints that had, what did I see, 10 million viewers?
Makeup tips?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, she has more viewers than a TV network has in prime time.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah. So, you know, and I'm sitting here going, what the fuck am I doing this for? You know?
You're doing it because you love it.
I'm doing it because it supposedly keeps me alive. If I didn't do this, I would just completely vegetate. I mean, it's bad enough with this COVID that I just don't go out at all.
Right. That's how I gained all this weight, was not going out and just eating.
Well, it's called the COVID-15.
The COVID what?
15. It's COVID-15. It's the weight you gain. Everybody gains about 15 pounds. I've gained about 15 pounds.
Yeah.
But I go out and I find it's harder for me to walk.
Right.
You know, my legs are weak, and you know, and I decide I want to go out, but now I have to do you, and then after this, I probably have to order some food from Costco to be delivered.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm not getting out today.
No walk after this.
Right. Now, when we recorded this, it was a couple of weeks ago. Okay.
Right.
I'm assuming it was a couple of weeks ago when we recorded this. Okay. And it's just now what was I going to say? See, I'm
recording this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and so we don't know exactly what the condition of things are. I mean, already as we're recording this, the COVID is up to like 137,000 people yesterday.
Yeah, that's right.
I looked at that number and I went, my God.
And do you realize, Alex, they say it still hasn't peaked yet. We're going to hit for another round of really bad times.
Now, I was watching Dr. Fauci. He said less people are dying, but only because we know better how to handle these cases. Yeah. You know, when this thing first hit, New York lost, 25,000 people.
Sure.
You know, if it just hit today with what we know,
right,
it wouldn't be anywhere near that.
And if our president had taken proper action.
Well, if he had taken proper action, that certainly would have helped mitigate it. If he'd told everybody to wear masks, that would have mitigated.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But the fact is that he didn't do anything about it. And but what it was is we were the first ones to get hit with this, and we didn't know exactly.
Hard.
And we didn't know how to handle it. You see, we didn't know what medicines do you give people.
Right.
We were making it up as we went along, and that's how we lost 25,000 people initially to COVID. Right. Today, I would say that amount might be maybe 5,000.
Yeah.
You know, if with all the knowledge we have now, one of the simple pieces of knowledge that we gained out of this.
What's that?
Was if somebody has it, you keep turning them in the bed.
What do you mean?
Putting them on their chest, then turning them, put them on their back, and rotate them, put them back on their That has minimized the deaths. Something as simple as that. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And then they had to have all these other therapeutics that have come out, that have helped.
But they say also the symptoms linger.
Yes.
I mean, after you're okay, it's still like post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Well, they're saying that the problem is that a lot of people are getting after effects. I mean, that they get cured of COVID, they go home, but they've got symptoms and things going on for a long time after that.
Long time.
Long time. So,
Well, that's why I wear a mask.
Of course you wear a mask. You also wear a mask because you respect me, and I wear a mask because I respect you.
That's correct.
That's
correct. Wearing a mask is not selfish, it's selfless.
Yes. But I mean, but the fact is that, and you know what Fauci said they found out today, they assumed that the reason you wear a mask is so you won't infect somebody else. They wear masks so they won't affect you. So it's a reciprocal thing. You're not doing it for you, you're doing it for them.
What I don't get
but now he says what they found is that it does protect you.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know what I don't get, Alex, is these people that wear a mask but don't cover their nose.
Oh, you mean the people who wear them as chin guards?
Yes. I mean, that's like going out and tying only one shoe.
It's like wearing a condom and then cutting a hole in the bottom of the front of it just because you like a little more air there,
Yeah. Right.
I mean, people who wear the masks here, okay.
Yes.
I go.
I don't get it all.
Do you understand that that's not what we're really worried about? Is your mouth?
I do my best to understand everything I can.
What? I didn't say anything to this. Did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
That was my Alexa. Or actually, I call it something else because it is called something else.
Is it really?
I can't use that name because if I use the name,
it'll talk.
It'll talk. Of course, then I can go, "Hey Samuel, say something explicit."
What the fuck is happening, my friend?
Sounds like my act.
Yeah. That's Samuel L. Jackson.
Is that right?
Yeah. I can ask him, Samuel, hey Samuel, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low of 62 degrees.
See?
What a great day.
Yeah.
Alex, you got to go outside.
Well, I know I want to go outside. It's beautiful out there. But I don't know. I gotta order my food. See, there's always an excuse.
Right. That'll take what? All of 2 minutes?
Well, I've been making up an excuse why I can't get my eyes done. Okay.
Right. Well, never mind your eyes right now. Why don't you go for a walk after this?
Well, because I in huff and puff and I feel like I'm dying.
So you're a little neurotic and maybe a little bit of a hypochondriac?
Oh, you didn't know me that well, did you?
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was saying it.
Yeah. The hypochondriac? Yeah, well, I mean, I often said that on my tombstone it's going to read, see, I told you I was sick.
Right. That's a great thing for a tombstone.
Yeah. But my wife is not going to let me have a tombstone.
Really? You're going to get cremated?
Yes, she wants me cremated. She wants to crispy fry me.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't want that because, we don't know what happens afterwards. I might need everything. And when you show up, if you're just an ash, they go, sorry, you're not coming in here.
Did you tell her that?
You look terrible.
Yeah. You look burnt.
Yeah. Well, she's got her mitts out on me. Of course, before I die, I've got to get a tombstone for my mother's grave.
See, I got one for my mother's grave.
Yeah, how long did it go without a tombstone?
She passed in 77, and me and my brothers put up a headstone in 85.
Well, you see, my mother died, what was it, about, is it 20 years ago? I don't know. What year did she die? No, I was out here. I was out here at the time. Maybe 2004, 2005, something
Really?
like that. Yeah.
And you know why?
I know what it was. It was 2005, I think. Yeah, because she was 100 years old.
Right. You know why I got bought the headstone?
Yeah.
Because I went to visit her grave. She only had the plaque. And I'm there in the winter, and I couldn't find her grave.
Yeah.
And I kind of lost it.
Well, I felt guilty about this for the longest time because I just never gotten one. And then I found other people have done the same thing and not gotten around to getting a tombstone for their parent or whatever,
You know, it's a nice thing.
Yeah. Well, as I tell people, part of the problem is that for years I haven't known what to put on the tombstone, and I finally figured it out.
What are you going to put?
It's going to go, here lies, I'm going to get one tombstone for both of them.
Right, of course.
Because there's one for him, but not for her. So I figured either that I could just chisel an extra name on there. I don't know. But anyway, I was thinking of just putting up a tombstone. Here lies Alexander Schwarzman and Ruth Schwarzman.
Right.
Parents of... and then in big letters, Alex Bennett.
Go for it.
Well, I want to get my money's worth. Come on. I need the
Go for
publicity. God knows nobody writes me up anymore. I need at least to have my name on a tombstone. Because
Now, do you really want your name on a tombstone?
Well, I don't know, but once Marjorie turns me into a crispy critter, I'm just going to be an etching on an urn.
Are you going to have your ashes sprinkled anywhere?
I don't know. My ex-wife died, Ronnie.
Oh, I didn't know her.
You didn't know her, but she just died. And they're bringing her ashes to New York, and we're going to sprinkle them in New York City. And I said to the person who's going to do it, I said, I think that's illegal, isn't it? She says, watch me.
Right.
Ronnie wanted to be sprinkled in New York City, so we're going to sprinkle her ashes in New York City.
I would like to have some of my ashes sprinkled in the Atlantic Ocean.
Uh-huh.
And some of them on my mother's grave.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
If I could get somebody to do it, I'd like some in the Pacific Ocean also, but that's a little too much to ask.
Yeah. I don't know where I would want them scattered. I've never thought about that, I'm not going to know it. I'm not going to feel it,
No, you're not going to be aware of it that we know of.
Use me as mulch or something, for some plants.
Right.
So when the plants grow, at least there's some of me in those plants.
Right.
Does that make
now,
sense?
Are you going to be buried in a Jewish cemetery?
Well, I can be. I don't have a tattoo.
No, that's not true, Alex. You can have tattoos.
Really?
That's right. The Rabbinical Committee in Israel said it was okay to be buried with tattoos.
Yes, but that's because of the tattoos from the Holocaust.
No, that's why you couldn't be buried with tattoos.
I have tattoos. I have 4 tattoos.
Really? I didn't know that.
They are the size of a hat pin. Because when I got the radiation for the prostate cancer,
right,
they put little tattoos on you so they have a place to aim the stuff. So, and I pulled the joke to them, well, I guess I'll never be buried in a Jewish cemetery. And they were very serious. They said, oh, no, we've been told to tell our Jewish friends that they have said it's okay if you get this kind of tattoo because it's for medical purposes.
Right, but I spoke to a rabbi, and I asked him about tattoos, and he said you can be buried in consecrated ground with tattoos these days. They changed it.
Well, they better, because there's so many goddamn people getting tattoos that they'll never...
Right, especially in Israel. All the millenniums are like tattooed from head to toe.
Wow. Well, is that what it takes for Israel to go tattoo?
Right.
Yeah, to change
You
the
know,
whole orthodoxy.
although I don't think there's a tattoo business open right now, is there?
I doubt it. I doubt it, but who knows? I don't know. I don't get tattoos, so I don't know. Do you have
Yeah,
tattoos?
I have 5.
You have 5. Okay, you have tattoos.
I
Okay.
got both of my legs,
Mm-hmm.
my shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
and one on my shoulder blade.
Wow. Wow. Well, anyway. Hey, listen, we've run out of time.
Is that it?
We
Was
have
it the
we have,
tattoos?
we have fun talking. That's what it
It
is.
goes by fast.
It really does. You are terrific.
Thank you.
I like you a lot, Stephen Kravitz.
Well, I like you a lot, Mr. Bennett.
Yeah, thank you very much. Stephen Kravitz, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks
Wait a
for
minute. He's
listening.
over there. He's over there. There he is.
That
Okay,
way.
bye.
Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
And there's Stephen, and here's Alex, and it's another day in the neighborhood, another day in the neighborhood. Well, let's see here. We probably should start admitting people into our waiting room into the program, and there they are. Let me see here if we have Steve's iPhone there. But Steve, you don't have a picture. You don't have a picture. Let me see here. Let me admit Jeffrey Stein. I know who Steve is. I'm just waiting to have him. Let me see. Robert Natali is in the waiting room. There we go. We'll bring him in. Steve, are you there? Can you hear us? Steve.
He's still connecting, it says.
Huh? Yeah. It says Steve's iPhone is connecting to audio, but it's not doing anything else. I may have to hang up on him here. He says something. He has called the program. I think he's the Steve that calls the program on Mondays, and he should know how to use his stuff, But apparently he's not, and he's got a problem. So, Steve, I'm going to hang up on you and just try it again, okay? All right? Hello to everybody else. How are you this evening?
Good. Great.
Yeah, doing great. And look, Brian Ludwig is with us tonight. Hello, Brian.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Hello.
And, of course, Robert Natali and Brian Neary and...
How's my hair dye? Is it running? Or
yeah, it's a little streaky over here.
Although I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, okay, but can he have any more bad luck?
It reminds me of Trump walking up to the Air Force One with toilet paper on his foot.
Yeah.
First of all, he gets Trump by Borat, okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then he has this thing today where he gives a rambling press conference that makes no sense at all, making statements that he can't prove. And there is not dye, there's like hair dye that's dripping because he's sweating. Now, look, I used to wear hair dye. Okay? I used to dye my hair. I don't know if anybody else here ever did it, but I did.
Sure.
Huh? Did you try?
I did it for years.
Right. Did you ever have it drip?
No.
No. Why did his drip? And on both sides. Did you notice it was like on both sides?
Both sides.
It almost got to look like he. Oh, hello there. There's Steve.
Oh.
How are you, Steve? Anyway, are you there, Steve? Can you hear us?
I'm here.
Okay, good. It looked like, kind of like one of those hip sideburns that people get, these little trails down there,
I thought he was bleeding.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shit was coming out of his ears.
But it was on both sides. At first I'm going, ha, ha, ha. And then you go over to the other side, and there he is. Same thing. going to town on it. So yeah.
You would think $20,000 a day would get you a better job, right?
Yeah, there it is. Somebody's got a picture of it. Oh, is that that's even a more massive drip than the one I saw.
We got it.
Yeah. I mean, how much more there is the other side, right? There you go. Okay.
Rudy.
Thank you. We leave it to Kevin to come up with that kind of stuff. Did you piss your pants when you saw that?
Oh, I was just waiting for it. It's almost like the fly on the head, you know. I had to rewind it to watch it. It was hilarious. It was a comedy show.
Yeah. It was terrible. Just terrible.
And then he said that this whole election thing is the worst crime he's ever seen. Wasn't he the mayor during 9/11?
Yeah.
This is the worst crime I've ever seen before.
Yep.
He was also a lawyer who took on the mafia, and this happened.
And his favorite movie was Vinny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really, dude?
Believe me, he isn't as good a lawyer as Vinny turned out to be. You know, boy, we all love when that happens to somebody like Rudy. You know, we sit here laughing out of Schadenfreude. Yeah.
The only thing I got out of that press conference was the fact that they were all collecting money off of Trump.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes. No. Well,
Yeah, they're all getting paychecks. That's all they were doing.
No, wait a minute. They're being told they will get a paycheck.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Now, what do we know more about Trump than anything else? The one lesson in
he don't
life.
pay his bills.
It was the lesson in life he was taught by Roy Cohn. Don't ever pay your bills. Okay? And so he never does. That's why people don't like to work for him. You know? And where do they get the $3 million to take to Wisconsin? That's what I want to know. You know, where did that come from? What are you playing with there? A pubic hair or something, Brian Ludwig?
No, I'm just.
Okay.
No.
What was that? It was like you were going like, you know, a little thing there.
Just distracted. I'm sorry.
Steve, where are you calling from?
From my home,
Where? Well, of course, but where?
London, Ontario. Canada.
London, Ontario. Oh, so we have somebody out of the country tonight. I see. That's good. How's all the COVID thing up there? I hear it's worse in Canada right now.
It's getting worse. Yeah, it's so far in London, it's not too bad. Like we did go out to eat at a fast food place today.
Yeah.
So far, so they haven't locked us down, but I don't know how much longer it's going to last.
Yeah. You haven't had a problem very much up there. It's been pretty good.
It's been pretty good. Like we had a fairly normal summer. I mean, I did go to the beach like 5 times this year.
Yeah.
When I wasn't driving truck.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been too bad.
Yeah.
But back in April and March.
Right.
But the summer got better. But it started worse again.
Yeah. By the way, your phone, because you're holding it, you're making a little bit of noise with it with your hand. So when you're not, excuse me, I'm getting myself a cough drop here. My throat is dry tonight. When you're not talking, just mute yourself, okay?
Okay.
Okay, because you can see there that you can mute because it makes some noise there. But right now it's not, obviously. Wow. Yeah, there. You know, I'm beginning to think. Sometimes I wonder why I go on at all at night because there's not a lot to talk about anymore. I mean, it's the same thing every day. I mean, I watch MSNBC and I go, how long are they going to continue this tap dance? You know, because really, all you can do is complain about the fact that Trump won't let Biden get the stuff and and that's over and over and over again. And where once Trump was the gift that kept on giving for broadcasters, he's not anymore. He's just a bore, you know, who's embarrassing the United States of America, and he's embarrassing himself. If he left with a little dignity, it might be a monument to him somewhere, but there's not going to be. I mean, what is his legacy going to be after this is all over?
Does he care?
Don't you think he cares? I would care.
He's golfing the last 2 weekends. You think he cares?
He doesn't care about. He certainly doesn't care about the country.
No, but is golfing his way of saying to you, "Hey, I'm not being affected by this"? You know, I mean, I'm cool about it. We know he's not cool about it. He's probably throwing stuff off the balconies at the White House. You know, like staff members.
Yeah.
You know. Hi, Tony.
Did you see Rudy Giuliani today?
Yes, I know. What do you think we were talking? First thing we were talking about, Kevin had up the pictures of him.
Alex, I was walking to Stop and Shop and I heard that. I was getting beef stew for my mom and me for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
He quoted my cousin Vinny as a fucking defense?
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
We're gonna roll out Pesci?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He'd make it better.
He's fucking, Trump must have the goods on this guy. He has to.
No. I think it's the other way around.
You think so?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of goods to have on Rudy. I mean, Rudy has been one of the crookedest people around. You know, America's mayor, my ass.
I'm starting to worry. I'm starting to wonder how he got elected now.
Who?
Giuliani. Yeah, they gave him the bad guys probably because.
Well, you know, if you go back and you watch Giuliani in the day, okay, I never liked him, but when 9/11 came, he hit all the right notes. Okay, you know, didn't hit every
I don't
right
seem
note.
to remember that. I keep hearing people say that.
No, you know what he did? He went.
But I swear to you, I don't remember that.
Well, no, what he did is he went on the air every day and he told people what was ostensibly what was going on. It may not have been what was really going on, but he said it. Okay? And he kept people informed that way. And so in that way, he wrote the textbook. I mean, that even a guy like Cuomo now is using during the pandemic, even Cuomo is using, to be just out there telling the public what's going on. Now, what he didn't tell people that was going on is that the reason why World Trade Center number 8, which was the other building that went up, blew up, was because he stored all the gasoline for the city's, what can we call it, what's the word I'm looking for? But they stored all the gasoline there for emergencies, right? And they told him, don't put it there, you know, put it somewhere where it isn't close to the center of town. It was there, and that's what blew up. So, you know, he was a piece of shit, but he did handle it correctly. I mean, he handled it to. Tell me, Robert, where I'm wrong about this.
I don't think, I'm not saying you're wrong. I swear to you, I have no memory of him doing anything remarkable except showing up at Yankee and Met games when they resumed playing baseball. Other than that, I don't remember how it is that suddenly he became embraced as America's mayor. I just don't see it. I never did.
They always had him on the news representing New York and calming everybody down and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's where he got the reputation, was because he was the face of the tragedy. Okay?
Right.
He was the face of keeping everything calm.
Guy married his cousin, for crying out.
Well, I know that.
I know.
We realize that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
But
He dumped his wife publicly to
listen.
marry his cousin.
Well, wait a minute. Roosevelt was married to his cousin.
Yeah, well, all right.
I'll
give you that. Carlo Gambino.
What?
So is Carlo Gambino.
Married to his cousin?
Correct.
Yeah, well, you know, I think that tends to be, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's not a bad thing. I don't know. But Rudy Giuliani, well, let's see here. His wife, his second wife, I'm trying to remember her name now, and it's on the tip of my brain.
Judy Nathan.
Judy Nathan. She was an actress, right?
I don't
Who was the
recall.
actress he was married to?
No, he was married to a newswoman, Donna Hanover.
That's it. Okay. And he divorced her, and I think he did it in some kind of untoward way.
Yeah, to the point where his own son doesn't speak to him to this day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did he
Son,
do? I can't remember. It was some horrible way he delivered her the news.
well, it was all kind of done in public. Like the dirty laundry was all out there for everybody to see.
He did a press release saying he was leaving his wife, and she didn't hear about it till
That's
she read
how she heard.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Yeah, on the news. That's how she heard.
Something like that.
That's almost as bad as Newt Gingrich, who delivered the word to his wife that he was going to divorce her while she was lying in bed with cancer.
Dying.
Yeah. She didn't die, by the way.
Oh, did she?
I think him leaving her gave her reason to live.
I see.
Yeah. You know.
I see.
Boy, there's some skeezy Republicans out there. By the way, Steve, being from Canada, do you care about any of this? I mean, does it really matter to you guys up there?
Well, we do follow your politics a little bit.
Yeah.
It does affect our country economically, too. So I'm following it. Well, ever since I listened to your show when you were on Sirius, I started following it.
Yeah. And what is your thinking about it? And how are people taking what's going on down here now?
Most Canadians can't stand Trump. There are a few up here who are Trump wannabes.
Trump wannabes?
Yeah.
I mean, in what respect?
But, we have our fair share of idiots too, but.
Yeah.
I know one in Toronto.
You know one in Toronto? Who are you referring to, Kevin?
I know somebody in Toronto.
Oh, you know somebody in Toronto. I
Yeah.
thought you were maybe mentioning some kind of political person up
No,
there.
no. That's a all Trump all the time.
Yeah. So, but you've got COVID now, and you weren't letting Americans into Canada because we had COVID.
People are. And I'm a truck driver, so I'm the only one, along with the other guys in the industry, that are allowed to cross. That's it.
That's it.
Letting people fly, and that's the thing. I said this to a few people. They should have shut down the FAA once this COVID started to outbreak.
Mm-hmm.
Shut down all international flights. Shut down all international bus traffic, cruise ship traffic, all of it. Just stop it right there.
No, we're just stopping all travel. We're stopping all travel of people from China who want to come here, and yet people from China were still coming here.
The Chinese could go not just to Europe; they could go to any country.
Of course.
That's why they put the FAA, because the FAA plans all the flight plans for all the airlines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but if they had done that, it would have saved lives down here in New York, because we got all those about 3 million people coming through JFK, many of which had COVID and then went into Manhattan and spread it, and this town just got you remember how bad it was back then, It's gotten a little worse lately than it has been, but it's never going back to as bad as it was. Yes, Charlie.
And speaking of going back as bad as it was, we had 2,000 people die in the U.S. today. First time since May.
Yep.
We had over 2,000.
Oh, boy.
Shit.
Yeah,
I just read this.
What?
see that Republicans are Munchkin's Stephen Munchkin. He's cutting
Mnuchin, not Munchkin.
I'm gonna call him Munchkin. I call him Munchkin.
Do you know,
Munchkin.
by the way,
He's
you know
cutting the federal aid.
the guy who was supposed to do my eyes. I mean, we are going to do it eventually.
Yeah,
but
Munchkin.
my eyes are killing me today. Again, something in the air in this apartment. I don't know what it is. I go out and I feel better, but the guy who was going to do my eyes. His brother-in-law is Stephen Mnuchin.
Really?
And he says the whole family hates him. Anyway, go ahead.
They're cutting the federal aid off, Alex. I heard. I'm just reading it. The emergency money.
Oh,
I
no.
guess Trump's starting to really blow everything up. Here we go.
Oh, no, he wanted to attack Iran. What
Yeah,
else has
World
he
War
done?
I
He
the other day.
got rid of the head of the
Land security.
was it Homeland Security? Or it wasn't Homeland Security.
No, it was
It was
Election security.
it's something-
election security. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say this as a true patriot? Would anybody really care if somebody took him out now?
Took who out?
The big
Hmm?
white, the guy in the
There he is
Cheeto.
again.
The head of Ku
Come
Klux
get you,
Klan.
Tony.
The guy we like to refer to as the Big Cheeto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not white. Don't say he's white.
yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. I take
No,
that
he
back.
he is a
He
color
was
that's
going out in a bang, Alex.
he is a color that's not found in nature. Okay, so Tony, you have come on this program far too often,
I know you're right. I need to
wishing ill on our vaunted president of the United States. Do you realize that because it's being broadcast here on this program,
But I never said his name.
tomorrow YouTube could say, "That's it,
Oh,
no
I'm
more.
sorry.
We don't put that kind of stuff on the air." So just say you're kidding.
I'm kidding about
Okay.
the big orange
Yeah, the
Cheeto.
big orange Cheeto. Okay.
You're kidding.
Fine.
I mean,
Although I'll tell you that I don't think that the kind of feeling you have is necessarily that unusual. You know, I mean, people are, when I go to sleep at night, I put my head down on the pillow. It's not like I exactly have good thoughts for his future. Okay.
I mean, did you ever think, Alex, he would go out like this? I mean, he's getting bad to worse.
Well, I know you know who predicted this whole thing? Bill Maher for the last almost 2 years has been saying Trump, when he loses, will refuse to leave office, and he was
would
right.
ask he asked everybody, all those political people he had.
Yeah, and
He asked them the last question he would ask, "What are we going to do when he doesn't want to leave?" And they would all laugh at him.
yeah,
Yeah,
Did
they
he have to
never
drag
answered.
him out?
Now they're laughing out of their ass.
yeah. I mean, the latest thing is he's bringing a bunch of Republicans in tomorrow from Michigan.
Oh, I heard.
People that are in the state senate there.
Yeah, they have a majority.
Yeah, to try and convince them to make the electoral votes for him, because they can do that.
They could.
They
Oh,
can
God.
do that. They don't do that. They don't do it because that's not the spirit in which the Electoral College was intended, okay? But he's going to try and get them
Well,
to
spirit
give
all
him
means-
the electoral votes. Even if he gets them from Michigan, it's not going to put him over the top, okay?
Well, I
Now,
love it when people say that.
you're going to love this, Kevin. Do you ever watch Newsmax?
No.
Oh, you got to do it. It's just a delight.
Is it?
It's another world. It's just like Bizarro Land, okay?
Fox.
I'm watching it today, and they showed a map of the United States and the Electoral College,
Huh.
and who's got what, and Biden hasn't won yet. He only has like 245 electoral votes to Trump's 230 something. On their
Still
map,
counting, huh?
they won't give him Arizona. They won't give him Pennsylvania. They won't give him Georgia. They won't give him Michigan. They won't give him Wisconsin. And to this day, they're not putting it up there like it's over.
What are they waiting for the trucks to back up or what?
It's another world. Now, I thought to myself, suppose you're a doofus out there who finds that Newsmax speaks to you, And this is the only information you get. You
Yep.
don't think Biden has gotten the electoral votes yet. And there's nothing there.
Problem is, there's people out there like that.
Yeah. But I mean,
There's those people that we talked about that actually go to Facebook for all their news.
I brought Marjorie in to look at it, okay? And I said, look at this. And she said, what's that? That's the electoral vote on Newsmax, which is a right-wing organization. And she had her mouth open all the rest of the day. You know, she was so gobsmacked by what she saw. I can't believe somebody's doing that. And I said, you better believe it, you know. So, and
Biden's more than 6 million votes ahead now.
What?
Popular vote. Biden's got more than a 6 million vote lead on Trump now.
Jeez. He's also gotten more votes than anybody who ran for president. So is Trump.
I just meant his lead is growing by day. So if they're going to somehow reverse this election,
but it's
going to be so obvious. No country in the world is going to take us serious.
The second largest amount is Trump's, oddly enough. Yes, Brian Ludwig.
Yeah, two things. One is not only has more people of color have voted for Trump this time around, oddly enough, mostly men though, men of other ethnic, like African American. But I know. But the other thing is I wanted to say was that there's this new social media app and site called Parler.
Yeah, no, we know that.
Kind of posturing itself as the Newsmax of social media. So
yeah. But it you know, I mean, it just it showed me why some people are so misinformed in this country, because they find the news source that best aligns itself with their political beliefs, and then that news source plays to them. And part of playing to them is to make them believe that the Electoral College is not a done deal, which it is now. Today, Georgia came in. The Georgia State Secretary of State, I think, said Biden has won. And
that's the recount, right?
That was the recount, and they say the recount wasn't off. It was damn close. I mean, it was within, 10, 20 votes, something like that.
Yeah. What do you guys think about what's that senator from South Carolina who tried to
Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham. Yeah. What about those people in Michigan that refused to certify the Detroit vote for a while?
After they got a call from Trump. After they got a call, right?
They went to Georgia and tried to get them to throw out votes.
Yeah.
They wanted to throw out a certain sector, like 140,000 votes, I heard.
Yeah. Well,
this guy's a nut, really.
Well, he's got the feeling that if it was a Democratic vote, it was fake.
And Alex, how is Rudy gonna? Rudy's saying, it's from the Democratic, states. This guy won in a Democratic state. Rudy can't show his face here anymore, I think, either. He's got to have to pack it up and move to Florida.
I just read something where Ivanka can't even show her face in New York now.
Oh, yeah.
She can't even move back here with Jared.
All the social groups they used to hang out with, yeah.
Yeah, they just don't. She's not considered.
Her and Jared.
Huh?
Yeah, her and Jared.
Yeah. So they're never going to be able to come back here. Trump is never going to be able to come back here. Cuomo said at one point, we hope he never does, good riddance,
Yeah. Rudy's now close to him.
Huh?
Rudy, I think ran his ticket out of New York now. To me personally, I don't think he could. After this whole debacle, how he's carrying on, I can't say it.
Oh, I don't think he. I don't know where.
They're not naming a bridge off of Rudy.
I don't know where Rudy's going to live though, because New York's always been his home.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeff.
The president's daughter has a daughter, which is his granddaughter, that goes to school. I think it's in New York, and they kicked them out.
Holy shit, that's kind of
wow.
Plus, she would never wear
a mask.
Mask.
Lovely.
Oh, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, Yeah, that was today.
Is this a kid by Ivanka and Jared?
Yeah.
This is a devil's spawn? I didn't know they had. Anybody know she had a? Anybody know she had a kid? Oh, you did. Okay. Well, see how uninformed I am, and I'm running a talk show.
Well.
Yeah. I don't get any of it. I mean, I just, I guess I've lived long enough to see this. Yes, Robert.
See, I'm going to take this in a slightly different direction.
Okay.
The people that watch Newsmax and the people that say that this is all a Democratic fix and all like so, my opinion is they've always been extremists. They've always been assholes, and you're not going to do too much to stop them. I'm not concerned with them. Here's why.
Okay.
What I'm concerned about are friends of mine who are reasonably intelligent people who are willing to accept Charlottesville, who are willing to accept, tear gassing people in Lafayette Park in order to hold up a Bible, who are willing to accept the president who tries to rig an election, all because their 401k went up a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
Those are the people that scare the shit out of me, because those people have become so self-consumed that they don't really give a shit about democracy, what's best for the country. Those people are going to be harder to turn. The idiots wind up going back in their holes after a while when it's less conducive for them to come out and put up signs about homos and whatever else they did at MAGA thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, those people tend to go back in their warrens, and they do their militia thing, and you kind of don't hear from them for a while. It's the college educated guy who says, I don't like a lot of the things that Trump says and does, but he's good for the economy. No, this isn't a Chinese restaurant where you pick things a la carte. You get the whole fucking package, don't you get it?
Yeah.
I'm off the soapbox. Sorry about
Well,
that.
that's good soapbox. Good soapbox to be on.
That.
What'd you say, Jeff?
We all have people who are in our family who are just like that.
Yep. Now, I can't, you won't be able to see this, but I have this here for people to see. I went looking at Drudge to see if we could find some other things to talk about, that maybe there are other items, and believe it or not, there isn't much to talk about. But to show you that Drudge is so against Trump. Now, you don't imagine that with Drudge. We always saw Drudge as this right-wing, gang leader, okay? I want people to see this headline. It's a picture of Rudy Giuliani, and all it says is, Giuliani.
Oh, he's drooling.
No, Giuliani.
Yeah, he's
a ghoul.
You know something? He should use that name and go on the air and be the host for horror films under the name Giuliani.
He looks bad too.
Yeah. I mean, and of course, if you look, folks, again, this is he ran the version of this where the thing is running down about as far as it can run. Let me just once again find this. If you look closely,
That's
down.
Close to the picture I got.
Right there. Huh? Yeah. That's all the way down, almost to past his chin. Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
I caught that when I was watching TV.
Yeah. Wow. Just incredible. Just incredible.
I've come to call him Nosferatu because it kind of looks like Nosferatu, but he's a twat.
Nosferatu?
Yeah.
Well, you're pushing it with that one.
What do you mean?
You just, that's Nosferatu.
Yeah.
It's really bending it to your own purposes, Not that I'm objecting. I'm not objecting. I'm just saying, Nosferatu. Couldn't you come up with something better like not Nosferatu?
Well, for Nancy Pelosi,
Spew?
I call her Skeletoria. So
Skeletoria. Well, that's
she's
different.
the bride of Skeletor.
You really don't like her, do you?
No, I do not like that neoliberal bitch. Not at all.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
No, because she played. I'm in agreement with Ro Khanna. She should have taken the deal when it was available on the table. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best deal. It wasn't the ideal deal for people like ourselves, yet alone a more progressively minded individual like myself. But because she wanted to play a partisan pissing match with Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump, she lost a lot. Her majority in the House took a hit for a good reason.
Yeah.
Because of the austerity measure she employed there, and not, making a compromise with.
Well, I mean, the argument could be made the other way. The Trump people and the McConnell people wouldn't try to make a deal.
I have no love for them. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think there was a deal to be made.
No, I mean, there was a compromise. I
don't think they were ready, either of them, to compromise. I think the only compromise he would accept is if she went his way, which would have included a lot of money for more businesses and stuff like that, rather than getting to the people. That's the problem. Yeah. That's what she was fighting for. She didn't want any more of this money to be going to airlines and movie companies and everything else, Trump's pals.
Logically, neither did I. But, this being politics, the one guiding thing that rules politics is perception. And people perceived her as being stuck up and unwilling to bend.
Did you guys feel that way about her? Nope, nobody here felt that way about her. Yes, Charlie.
Nobody on this panel will.
Charlie.
But McConnell also wanted businesses to be shielded from any kind of lawsuits if they didn't clean up their business and they made their people come back to work and the people ended up getting COVID. They could not sue their companies. That was part of McConnell's plan. His compromise was complete immunity of businesses from lawsuits for COVID.
And the other compromise handed Mnuchin billions of dollars of money that he had no reason to account for.
He still does
he
not
didn't have
negate
to
the fact.
do whatever he wants.
This doesn't negate the empirical fact that we now have 10 less people and 10 less Democrats. All of them, I think, are corporatists or were corporatists. Yeah. The ones, that's a side note in and of itself. But the point is, she took a hit, and they're pretending like her shit doesn't stink and that.
Well, I don't think.
I agree with you. Yeah. About her, I think she did the wrong. They ran wrong. They didn't run on the right issues.
Well, I'm looking here at Drudge, and of course the other thing that becomes very looking at this, the thing that comes up the most here is the pandemic at this point.
Oh yeah.
And my feeling is I'm sick and tired of hearing all. Well, it's gratifying to hear all these Republican governors coming out now and saying we've got to lock the state down.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, they weren't even wearing masks, for crying out loud. And now the shit smells okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're too late to the party now.
Yeah, what?
200,000.
150,000 cases a day for the last 2 weeks.
Jeff, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, some of those governors still did not have a mask.
Yeah.
Wasn't 100%.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, the point is that, for instance, your governor in Texas, Charlie, should be ashamed of himself. I mean, how many people have you lost in Texas now? Is it around 14,000, I think I read? Something like that?
Oh, we had more than 20,000 people die from COVID in Texas.
Oh, really? Okay, so you're up to that now.
Wow.
Yeah. We have 12,000 cases a day just in Texas.
You know something? We've had to date in New York something like 33,000 deaths. But a lot of those were at a time when we didn't even know it was here. And it hit us. It blindsided us. And we worked our asses off to get those numbers down. These guys had advance warning. They knew what this thing could do. They knew the lethality of it. And for Texas to have 20,000 is unconscionable. You know, with all that we know now. Now, the only way I can see getting us out of this is we got to close everything down. I'm sorry, I don't want any of this. Well, you can keep your bar open till 10 o'clock at night. I mean, it's not like COVID says, "Oh, yeah, I'm not going to do anything before 10 o'clock at night because I don't like to party early." You know, no. You know, I mean, it's time
get
that
drunk
we
by 10 o'clock and leave. Just close the place down. Yeah.
It's time that we close this country down.
That's how I felt about the school I worked for, half-assed. You know, none of this hybrid shit. It's either one extreme or the other. Either you stay open or you go online only. I'm obviously a fan of the online only model because, like you said, this virus isn't going to say, oh, on the days that these students have in-person sessions, I won't infect them. And on the days they don't, I'll be everywhere. No, it doesn't work that way. It's got to be, you know,
well,
remote.
The thing about going
just like the bars need to be closed, and you know, I agree.
The thing about kids going to school is a double-edged sword, because the people that are complaining the most about the kids not being able to go to school right now here in New York, because our mayor decided to close down all the schools.
Smart decision.
No, but he has a lot of parents protesting it. And the reason they're protesting it, it's not for a selfish reason. It's because they can't hold down a job and have their kids at home at the same time. Now, there's a solution to that, but unfortunately, the government isn't coming up with the bucks to take care of it.
Oh, they're not going to do anything.
Exactly. So, there should be some accommodation for being able to hire babysitters or people who can come in and take care of your kids during the day so you can go work. But I understand why these parents are mad about this. What they're doing in New York is they're saying we're closing down all the schools. They're going to have to take several days to completely clean the schools, okay? Then students have to take COVID tests. And if they pass them, they go to school. And if they don't pass them, they don't go to school. And that's the way they're thinking of handling it here. It's not we realize that it would be better if kids were going to school for the two reasons. Number one, it's a better social situation for them. And secondly, because the parents do work and they rely on the school to be the babysitter while they're out working. And so consequently, that being the case, it's got to be taken care of. And
too late.
Huh?
It's too late right now.
It probably is too late.
It's too late. We're, like I said yesterday or last night or whatever, we're in purple now, and it's too late. It's now, you know, Gavin says he wants to pull the e-brake, but then he's out in Napa with all his friends, you know, with no mask on. They have pictures of it now. They're putting on the internet and everything.
He went to a party or something, didn't he?
He went to a party in Napa. And they said that,
And
so
Napa,
it was supposedly semi-outdoors, but the party was so loud that they shut the doors. So then it was indoors with all those people sitting next to each other. And
Am I mistaken, but did I read that Napa was a hot spot in California for COVID?
Yeah, it's one of the purple areas now. And he's the one telling everybody everything's purple, and he's out doing that. So people aren't taking it seriously.
Yes, Charlie.
Yeah, what I don't understand is the Democrats passed another stimulus way back in May. The Republicans in the Senate refused to even consider anything, even talk about it until October. So what I don't understand is why the American people didn't punish the fucking Republicans for sitting on their hands and not giving people the stimulus that we need.
Because I have an answer. I have a theory or a hypothesis, Charlie. My hypothesis is that they believe, by and large, again going on that perception thing that I talked about earlier, mentioned earlier, that they believed, by and large, that the Democrats that were running against these effing Republicans weren't much better than they were.
Well, that's true. I mean, they were running all these Republican-like people against them. You
Mhm.
know?
Centrism is dead. The Democratic Party has got its head shoved so far up its ass, it can't acknowledge the fact that centrism is dead. Clintonism is gone.
Well,
People don't want that.
Peter
They want
Arno,
progressives.
Peter Arno on our chat writes that Gavin Newsom in California has enacted a statewide curfew for everything starting at 10 p.m. Is that right, Kevin? Have you heard that?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. Again, there's that 10 o'clock thing. Where do they come up with this 10
Yeah, what is
o'clock
10
thing?
o'clock? You know,
Close
kids aren't
down
there.
all the goddamn bars, for crying out loud.
Yeah, one or
Remember
the other.
kids, they used to play that
Close
commercial.
down all the restaurants. Yes, I know the financial impact it's going to have on the state. I also know that if more people die, it's going to have even a larger financial impact on the state. We've got to kill this thing, and the only way to kill it is to keep people from spreading it to each other. And because there was this whole thing that got political about the wearing of a mask.
Largely thanks to Trump and his
Grab
bullshit rhetoric.
25 people on the street.
Yeah.
How many of them do you think know that the House passed a stimulus bill and it's sitting in the Senate doing nothing? Out of 25, how many do you think know that?
Probably
one or two.
Charlie does, I do,
Yeah.
most of us do, but 25 people at random on the street, I venture to bet you'd be hard pressed to find 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think,
Right.
to tell you the truth, I often think we get the government we deserve.
I agree.
Well, you know, here's the big question, okay? Because Brian Ludwig brings this up, and he's not wrong in it about the fact that the Democrats weren't doing their job, and that's why they lost some seats in Congress. My question is, where didn't we get the message across? Where do we? Because you know, we lost everywhere that we didn't lose in the Senate. We gained in the Senate, but not enough to get a majority. But what did we do wrong where we didn't just rout the Republicans everywhere?
We should have.
Did we not get the message across?
We ran milquetoast liberals, Alex. That's my guess.
And we didn't get the message across. The Democrats are terrible at messaging.
Yup,
That too.
been saying that for a long time.
Well, yeah,
They care about the messaging. They're just looking at Republican and Democrat.
yeah.
Here, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
If you say liberal, people respond with tax and spend liberal. It's like a tag that the Republicans have created to denigrate the word liberal. Or you'll hear someone call them libtards. There's like a hook.
Yeah.
What's the equivalent going the other way? There isn't one.
Well, I mean,
There
what
isn't
I'm
one.
saying is we didn't message well in saying that, you know, hey, you know, most of the people in this country are working people. You know, they're people who work for somebody else, and all they do is they work their asses off for, you know, 30, 40 years, and they make some company rich, but the company never reciprocates. And at the end, they get a gold watch. Thank you very much.
Very
We've never
lucky.
appealed to those people. You know, there was a time when Democrats were known as the party of the worker.
Yeah.
But nobody, you know what I think it is? I think it's the ego of people. They don't want to think of themselves as workers. Okay, they don't
Well,
want to
they're
think
the
of
party of
themselves.
Silicon Valley.
They don't want to think of themselves as labor. Even the guy in Silicon Valley who's sitting there writing programs for, you know, Google, he thinks he's got part of the company because he's got a 401k. Bullshit. He's making them rich, and he's only getting a small amount of that. You know, we somehow never gotten that message across in this modern day and age of greed, that it's in your best interest to vote for the Democrats because they're going to watch out for you, or they're going to try to watch out for you. It's not to say they do a very good job of it, because I knew Brian was going to jump on me for that.
No, they don't.
You know,
So the stay-at-home order from for California, everybody's basically in the purple tier, just about. But they said, yeah, the stay-at-home 10 p.m. stay-at-home till 5 a.m. effective November 21st until December 21st. Things you can do. You can go to the grocery store or drugstore, walk your dog, or get takeout from a restaurant.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, guess what? I think Ohio, parts of Ohio are in purple too. Cleveland being one of them.
Yeah, that's our Bay Area right there. No, you can't focus on that, but yeah, they have everything except for Marin County, San Francisco, and San Mateo County is red, but we're
all but Vermont. I just looked at a chart, all but Vermont and like Maine, or no, I think Vermont and New Hampshire or some shit. 47 states of all 50 states are red.
Well, we don't have purple as a designation here in New York. I don't think you do over in New Jersey either, do you, Richard?
I don't know.
Robert,
Honestly, I don't know.
Huh.
Black will be next, I guess.
Yeah, because I know that what I hear Cuomo say, yellow is when we hit 3%. 4% is orange, and I guess red is anything over like 4.5. So, and then in each of these designations, they have certain rules, and when you get to red, don't even leave the house. Okay.
And on a lighter note, has anyone seen the meme that's running around, the picture of the Last Supper, and Jesus is standing up saying, according to Cuomo, 3 of you got to take a hike?
No, I did see a meme though of Thanksgiving dinner. The 1950s family serving Thanksgiving dinner, only instead of it being a turkey on a plate, it's the coronavirus.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to think. I don't get the joke though. Cuomo says
the Last Supper.
Mm-hmm.
There are 12 people gathered at the Last Supper in the famous painting.
Yeah.
And you can't have a gathering.
According to Cuomo.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
3 if you got to take a hike.
That's how thick I'm getting these days. I'm punchy lately. I really think.
That's the whole state.
Oh, jeez almighty. Oh,
but that's what Texas should look like.
By the way, isn't that also where the fires were?
Pretty much.
I got to tell you, I have been. I'm bumping into walls now. I find myself suddenly every night, even though I got like 8.5 hours sleep last night, this evening I'm watching the Queen and I fall asleep. And I just think it's this whole thing with the corona fatigue that I've got. And I don't know if you're feeling it, but man, I am just, I do the show every night and I look at the clock to see how much time I got left because I don't have energy. And is that, Brian Neary, do you know about this COVID fatigue and what the symptoms are of it?
No, but everyone's suffering from it.
I mean, the tiredness and everything?
Even I'm going to work every day, but still I come home and the weekends can't do anything, and come home half day and still can't really do anything. Now my gym just closed.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 weeks of opening, and they were doing really good, masks and a separation, and there's only about 8 people in that big gym at a time every day I was there, and now they closed up again.
Yeah, but I mean, I just am. Do you feel it, Jeff? Being indoors all the time?
Absolutely.
I mean, I've got a big apartment here. I've got 2,500 square feet. Thank God for that. Because I at least the walls don't climb in on me. But I'll lie in bed at night and I'll get really depressed over the idea of, I ain't getting any younger, and we were planning on taking that trip to Europe. Or I'd like to go out to California to see my friends. And I got a lot of them out there, like Brian. And I'd like to go see my closest friend, Jeff. And I can't go up to Connecticut.
That's right.
Okay? And he can't come down here. So, and now, here's the thing
You got people who can't visit their parents or children, too. So
now we got Thanksgiving coming up. Okay. And a lot of, now in our case, we're probably going to have a Thanksgiving dinner here, and we're having Shecky's coming over, but Shecky doesn't go out. I know Shecky doesn't go out, right?
Yeah, he hasn't really been anywhere.
Right. So I know he's safe. And then Marjorie has a girlfriend named Natalia, who's Jack's wife, and she, according to Marjorie, she hasn't been out just to go to the store to get food, and that's it. You know, she does all her work from home, and she's in a little one-bedroom apartment. She must be going nuts, bonkers. Okay, and then Marjorie has another friend, and she teaches yoga and stuff to seniors, and she gets tested regularly. Although Marjorie asked her to get tested today just to make sure. I think we've got a safe crowd coming over, okay? But Marjorie goes, gee, they're saying on TV, just don't even do Thanksgiving. And I think it's because Thanksgiving primarily is the kids come home from college, right?
Yep.
And you don't want that to happen because you don't want them getting on public transportation and coming here. So that could spread it. But people are going to do it anyway. So how do we make it safer all the way around? I mean, I've got my little. I mean, everybody. These are friends of ours, and when they walk in the door, I'm hitting them with the temperature gun, just to make sure. You know.
What happens if they start coughing?
Oh boy.
What?
Hey, get the plate ready. He's going home.
Have we figured out when people are contagious?
Oh, I don't know. The temperature was scary.
I don't think so.
I know they're false. You know, there are people who don't have symptoms and they're asymptomatic and they can still spread it. Yep. But I'm wondering, do they have any kind of temperature? I guess they don't.
I often wonder if I'm in that category.
What?
Asymptomatic.
Why would you think that?
Why would I think that? Because one, my profession.
Yeah, bus
and
driver,
two,
school
the
bus
extra
driver.
The extra duty I do is I disinfect the buses as well, and I've been doing that since school reopened, which was back in September 8th, and I've been doing that 5 days a week.
But what are you doing to protect yourself when you do
that? I just wear my gator mask.
Yeah, but my question is, what do you do to disinfect it? I mean.
We have a solution. We put in these backpack units.
And then you go around spraying.
Smaller guns.
Yeah.
And we spray the seats, spray the door handles. That's what we were told to do. Spray the seats, top and bottom, and spray the back of the seats as well.
Brian Neary's going, what?
I wouldn't worry about that stuff.
Yeah, because
at the very beginning, they were panicking people. If somebody had it and they touched some plastic, it lasts for so many hours. Stainless steel lasted for like a day or something. And they defunct that stuff. It's a respiratory disease where you're getting it from air droplets.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know everybody's worried about the touching of stuff, and I don't. Yeah.
I mean, I think the reason why we have such a bad problem right now is people got it because they didn't wear masks.
Yep.
That's it, plain and simple. You know, we had a whole population.
Well, it wasn't at a party, but if their kids were, or something.
Yeah. But I mean, so I am just, I'm exhausted all the time, and I think it's this COVID fatigue. And I mentioned this to a doctor that I went to. I can't remember for what now, since I go to so many of them these days. And I said, I think I have, I have COVID fatigue. I'm tired all the time. They said, yep, that's it. That's going around.
You know what I noticed for me, Alex? I noticed at night I can't sleep like I used to. I just stay up sometimes like 4 a.m.
Well, at least you're not angry or suicidal. So
you ready for this one? I think I know what day this is. It's Thursday.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
But there are times when I go, what day is this? If I'm not doing a show for a couple of days, I got that 3 days where I don't have anything going on. I don't know whether it's Saturday, Sunday, or Monday.
As long as you say it's a day that ends in Y, you're in the clear. That's how I always tell myself when I get my days.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, there are all kinds of things where you kind of like just go, like I've been loopy. I can't. There are things that I normally do here every day, and I do them in a certain order and get them done, right?
But like I said, at least you're not overly stressed, angry, or suicidal, because you just jogged my memory, because I remember hearing on the news, talk show, I think, locally, that there was a Pitt student, my alma mater. I used to go to the University of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Pitt student who committed suicide on account of the anxiety that he was enduring from all this isolation and shit.
Wow. Wow.
I know, right? That's what I said.
Where'd you go to school?
University of Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
The Oakland main campus.
Because
UC Davis, they did a study about COVID fatigue, and they say it's true. They say to cope with it, exercise, exercise,
Yep.
exercise, talking,
Like this.
constructive thinking, mindfulness, and gratitude.
yeah.
You got to exercise more. Yes.
Well, I got that bike there. I haven't used it lately.
Created another one.
You need to do it.
Yeah.
And Charlie, what about you? You're using your bicycle, right?
Yeah, I said I don't have the COVID fatigue because I exercise every day. I haven't missed one day since March 13th.
How often do you get on? Is it a bike? Right, it's a bike.
Yeah.
Right?
I go out for walks.
How often? How long do you stay on it?
15 minutes every day.
Is that all?
Yeah, I do push-ups and sit-ups and stuff too, but 15 minutes every day, that's plenty.
Marjorie.
You talk about the COVID-15, I haven't gained a pound.
Me neither.
I have.
10, and then I started going to the gym since the 25th, and I was doing elliptical. I was doing up to 45 minutes nonstop the last 2 weeks, and then now they shut everything down.
Brian, do you have any equipment at your house?
Yeah, I just got a couple things. So I don't have any really good cardio stuff, but I have no excuse. I have a school across the street.
Yeah.
I just got to get out. So
Well, no, I've gained weight, but I think some of it had to do with the radiation and the whole prostate thing. You know, that caused some weight gain in me.
Those seeds are heavy.
It's not that they're heavy.
Heavy metal, yeah.
And by the way, I heard from Phil last night was saying when I was talking to him that you can get radiation brain, you know, that lasts for quite a while, where you can't remember stuff and so on. You know.
Well, if chemo can make you lose your hair, I guess it makes sense that it would go inside your head.
You know who hasn't joined the conversation much here, and we should talk to him a little bit. Steve, you haven't jumped in on anything. Any of these things appealing to you?
I'm just listening, trying to learn.
Trying to learn? You mean from this group? You think you're going to learn?
I don't know.
No, that's a bad assumption, right, Robert? Nah.
Go somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're like was gonna ask, where are they gonna do the inauguration? Like they usually do it in Washington. Where is it? The Lincoln Monument with that big pool. Is that where it is every year?
Well, no, I think
Capitol building.
It's the Capitol building, and the Capitol building does it? No, it doesn't look out on the
plaza
on the reflecting pool, does it? No, I don't.
I have a question for Steve.
Okay. Because it's probably going to be indoors, right?
I don't know what they're going to do. They haven't even talked about that yet.
Oh. It's never been indoors.
But I'm sure there'll be less people there than were at the Trump inauguration. So Trump can be really happy about that. You know,
that was the first lie that came out of their mouth. Man, they didn't stop after that. That's for sure.
More people than ever showed up before at an inauguration. And then I'm going, I think I saw that Obama thing, and it was pretty,
pictures.
You know, yes, Brian Ludwig.
Yeah, I just have a question for Steve, our Canadian friend, logistical business related one. Do you do a lot of deliveries in the U.S. and are you regional? Are you over the road? How's that work on your side?
Run to the West Coast from Toronto.
Oh, okay.
I do a lot of California, Oregon, Washington, mostly California.
Do you deliver general freight? Do you do like tanker or?
Dry van. We do hazmat.
Hazmat. Okay.
Freight, food, whatever needs to go. We do a lot of wine out of Napa Valley too. For the CBO, which is our Liquor Control Board of Ontario.
You have one. We have one in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
They're a pain in the ass, just like Utah.
Well, you used to deliver human organs, didn't you?
I did. I used to call on this program while doing so as well.
Yeah, yeah. And you did that. Is that considered hazardous? I mean, physically?
No, it's bio.
It's bio. Oh, you were a truck driver too, Kevin.
Yes.
31
God,
years.
is there anybody on the show tonight that wasn't a truck driver?
I wasn't a truck driver.
I was
that
all
considered-
hazmat though.
Huh?
You were all
I
hazmat.
was a suicide jockey for 31 years.
Oh wow. Were you tanker too, or were you just drive in?
No, well, I had tanker endorsement, but I was mostly gas and chemicals,
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
compressed gas.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Now, let me get this. Isn't Toronto on the east side? East?
Yeah.
So you go all the way to California is where you go, right, Steve?
Yeah,
Wow. That's,
it's 2,700 miles.
Quite a bit of driving.
yeah.
Yep.
I think the first time you called, you were somewhere East Coast and then coming to California, coming to LA or something, huh?
Right. Well, you called was it the 4 o'clock show you called, or was it this one?
Yeah. The 1 o'clock, yeah.
The
4
4
o'clock.
o'clock, 1 o'clock show.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was in his truck. Yeah. And now he's not in his truck. How long do you take off between tours of duty, as it were?
I have a wife at home. I take about 4 days, 5 days.
And then you go out and you do a run.
Yeah,
And that is how many days usually?
10 to 12.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes longer. Sometimes I'll do the triangle trip, which is, Kevin would know this. You head out west, and you go down south, and you go back east and do the triangle. I might go to California and then go back up to north to BC or to Alberta, and then back to Ontario like that.
I hate to think how many miles you've driven in your lifetime.
Oh, a lot.
A lot?
Yep.
Too much.
I've been driving for 20 years.
Yeah.
So
What about a 7-month break in between? Because I had a job in the factory where my wife worked for a while.
Yeah.
So I wanted to work, and that didn't work out because it was an auto parts plant, and I just couldn't keep up with the speed of their
Yeah.
quotas. So I just went back into the truck.
Yeah. Do you have any?
Yeah,
Do you have
kids,
any?
Steve?
Do you have any kids?
No kids.
No kids. Okay. Well, at least that makes it easier for you to go away for a week and a half at a time, and not have to worry about what's going on at home. Yes, Brian.
I'd like to go away for a week at a time.
Where do I apply, right, Brian?
Well, anytime you need a babysitter, I'm available. I mean, how difficult can she be?
Famous last words.
Yeah.
I'll send you videos, okay? You'll see her go crazy.
Hey, everybody. That's a good way to end the program tonight.
Thank
Brian
you.
Ludwig, thank you so much for joining us, as well as Charlie Wallace, Jeffrey Stein, Robert Natale, Brian Neary, Kevin, Tony, who has left us with his hideous wallpaper again. Oh, God. Oh, there he is. He's back in. Bye, Tony. And Steve, who calls us infrequently, but it's nice to have you here. It really is. Call some more, will you? Especially when you're out on the road. That's nice, too. And everybody right now, why don't you give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye back at you, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the citizen panel for tonight. They're fading off into the sunset. There'll be a new citizen panel right after we're through here on the show with Jack Bishop called The Intersection. He'll be using Skype, and the Skype number is GabNet Live. I will see you again tomorrow night at 10:30, same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her. And by the way, be safe out there, really safe, okay? And don't take any chances. We're too close to a vaccine for you to go dying on us. Plus, I don't have that much of an audience anyway, and I need everybody I can get. Stay safe out there and wear a mask. Night, everybody.